Welcome to ValueVest Daily, where we analyze various hot topics related to health, food, and lifestyle. Today, we're talking about a nutrient you probably think you know inside and out, but whose true power, well, it might just surprise you. We're talking about vitamin C, and we're going to explore how this one little vitamin acts as your body's daily superhero shield.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll cover why vitamin C is truly your body's unsung hero. Then, we'll get into the cool stuff, the science of a superhero. After that, we'll talk about the daily defense mandate, why you need it every single day. We'll look at some powerful evidence from the field, and then we'll wrap up with the practical stuff, how to start fueling your inner shield.
Okay, before we dive deep, we've got to get the important legal stuff out of the way. Just a quick reminder, this is all for educational purposes. It is not medical advice. So please, for any personal health questions, always talk to a healthcare professional.
All right, let's get into it. Part 1, your body's unsung hero. We're going to look at exactly why this vitamin is so critical, your absolute first line of defense. So let me ask you a question. Do you ever just feel kind of run down? A little tired? Maybe you're thinking about your long-term heart health, or even just the signs of aging you see in the mirror. These are things we all think about. But what if a huge piece of that puzzle, a really key player in your defense, was one simple, essential nutrient? Well, that's where our story really begins.
Okay, now for the fun part. Let's pull back the curtain and explore the science of this superhero. We're going to get into the biochemistry of what scientists call L-ascorbic acid. So what is vitamin C, really? Well, its fancy name is L-ascorbic acid. It's a water-soluble vitamin, which basically means it dissolves in water and your body doesn't store it for later. And here is the absolute most critical part. Unlike most animals on this planet, our human bodies literally cannot make it. We lost that ability millions of years ago. So that means we have to get it every single day from our food. It's non-negotiable.
And when you look at its job description, wow, it's like the ultimate multi-tool for your body. It's fundamental for building and repairing basically everything, your skin, your bones, you name it. It's a master antioxidant, and we're going to talk a lot more about that in a second. We all know it boosts the immune system, right? But it also helps your body turn fat into energy, and even helps produce the brain chemicals that regulate your mood. It's a busy molecule.
Let's just zoom in on that first superpower for a moment, building and repairing. This all comes down to a protein called collagen. You've probably heard of it. It's not just for skin. It's the literal glue that holds you together. It's the main building block of your skin, your bones, your tendons, all of it. And here's the thing. Your body cannot make new collagen without vitamin C. It's a required ingredient. Without it, the whole system just stops. That's why the old sailors' disease, scurvy, was so awful. Their tissues were literally falling apart. Now, every good story needs a villain, right? Well, meet the villains inside your body. Free radicals. Just think of these guys as unstable, chaotic little molecules, like tiny wrecking balls bouncing around. They come from everywhere, pollution, stress, even just the normal process of making energy. And all they want to do is cause damage by stealing parts from your healthy cells. This widespread cellular damage has a name: oxidative stress. It's a major cause of aging and so many chronic diseases.
So this is the epic battle happening inside you right now at a microscopic level. On one side, you've got the attackers, those free radicals causing chaos. And on the other side, you've got your defense force, antioxidants. And vitamin C is like the captain of the team. It has an extra electron it can just give away to a free radical. And that one simple act completely neutralizes the threat, stopping that destructive chain reaction cold. It's your body's hero.
So if it's so great, can we just load up on it once a week and call it good? Yeah, no way. And that brings us to our third section, the daily defense mandate. This is where we learn why consistency is absolutely everything.
See, your body doesn't stockpile vitamin C. It treats it as a use-it-or-lose-it resource. In fact, its half-life in your blood is only about 30 minutes. That means that half of what you consumed is gone in half an hour. It's used up or flushed out that fast. So without a constant daily top-up, that superhero shield we talked about gets full of holes really, really quickly.
So how much do we actually need? Well, the official number, the Recommended Dietary Allowance, is 90 milligrams for men and 75 for women. Now that's the bare minimum to prevent a serious deficiency like scurvy. But check this out. Smokers are told they need an extra 35 milligrams a day. Why? Because the oxidative stress from smoking just torches their vitamin C supplies. And that raises a really important question. Is the bare minimum enough, or could we do a lot better with more?
So let's look at the proof. Let's move beyond the theory and get into the real-world data.
Section 4 is all about the evidence from the field, where we see what happens when people actually maintain high levels of this stuff.
Okay, check this out. This comes from a huge British study that followed more than 20,000 adults for years, and what they discovered was just incredible. The people who had the highest levels of vitamin C in their blood also had a 42% lower risk of having a stroke. Let that sink in. Not 4%, 42%. That is a massive, life-changing difference, and it's linked directly back to this one single nutrient.
And it doesn't stop with strokes, not by a long shot. Look at heart disease. A huge analysis showed that getting 700 milligrams a day was linked to a 25% lower risk. What about your eyes? A major clinical trial found 500 milligrams a day slowed down macular degeneration, a leading cause of blindness, by 28%. The famous Nurses' Health study found that high intake dropped breast cancer risk by a staggering 63% in women with a family history. And yeah, even for the common cold, getting at least 200 milligrams a day can help you get better just a little bit faster. The evidence is everywhere.
So the evidence is pretty clear, right? The next obvious question is, okay, I'm convinced. How do I get enough? Let's move into our final section, Fueling Your Inner Shield, for some simple, practical advice you can use today.
First up, food. And you might be surprised here. What's the first thing you think of? An orange, right? Well, look at the top of the list. Just half a cup of red bell pepper has 95 milligrams. That's more than your entire daily minimum right there. Orange juice is a close second. But just look at the variety. Kiwis, broccoli, strawberries. It's actually not that hard to get way over 200 milligrams a day if you're eating your fruits and veggies. Just remember, raw and fresh is usually best because heat can break down vitamin C.
Now, for those of us who have busy lives and maybe don't always hit our 5-a-day goal, or if you just want to be sure you're getting those optimal levels from the studies, a supplement can be a really smart, simple strategy. And you don't need anything fancy. First, simple ascorbic acid works just as well as the expensive stuff. Second, a 500 milligram dose seems to be a great target based on the research. And third, take it in the morning with some food. That'll help you absorb it better and might even give you a little energy boost to start your day.
I think this quote really wraps up everything we've talked about perfectly. When you look at groups of people who consistently get a lot of vitamin C, their risk for major chronic diseases could be slashed by 20 to 40%. That just goes to show you that these small daily habits can add up to huge long-term rewards for your health.
All right, that brings us to the end. But now I really want to hear from you. What's your favorite go-to source for vitamin C? Is it bell peppers? An orange every morning? Let me know down in the comments. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Please put in the comments if you want us to deep dive into any other specific topic. And finally, if you found this valuable, please subscribe, like, and share Value Vest Daily. It really helps spread awareness on these life-changing topics that cover your health and your happiness. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.